Aha, let me double check this because it's the first time. We're back. An entrepreneur's journey. I'm in the small screen today. They're seeing my screen, so I'm in the small screen. I'm recording. I got a
Right?
great friend with me, Mr. Jarrett Romero, responding to a call on one of my videos where I was
Yes.
talking about I want to hear other entrepreneurial stories, and I know this guy's got stories. So I'll let you take it away. He's also started a new trend here on an entrepreneur's journey. You got to bring the shades. Now you
Yeah,
got to bring the
you gotta have
shades.
you gotta have a sense of humor, Nick, in business, or you'll probably end up putting yourself out of business before you get going. So,
I
yeah,
agree.
man, I've been watching your shows recently, man. You have some fun content, and I think people are really going to interact with it on a good level because you're talking about what everybody is experiencing as an entrepreneur, which is that you're going to have a phase that you like to call the idiot phase where you're just fumbling around. And if you don't have a sense of humor and you can't put on your funny glasses and see that you're going to have those phases, you're probably going to end up giving yourself a lot of grief that you don't deserve as an entrepreneur. So you can see I'm drinking out of my Cowboys glass because I'll tell you, I'm still kind of bitter about the Cowboys
Right
losing.
after
I know.
the Super Bowl, this guy still has a Cowboys glass. Can somebody put a comment underneath here and discuss why this guy is still
So
a diehard fan?
speaking of senses of humor, you got to have a sense of humor if you're a Cowboys fan. So
Ooh,
in any event, yeah. So I watched your episode on you were talking about how the phases that you go through as an entrepreneur, and one thing that related to me was the idiot phase that I want to speak a little bit about. So yeah, when I started a company,
I got a
start.
text message from you. We kind of laid out a little bit what we want to talk about today. I want to make sure we hit these points because I know you got some jewels for some of my entrepreneur friends and some of the people watching for sure.
Yes, I do, and I want to bring that to my attention right now. So yeah, one of the things that I thought of immediately when I saw your episode was a quote that is supposedly attributed to Winston Churchill, where he said, "Success is going from failure to failure without ever losing enthusiasm." Now, I'm not sure if that's a Winston Churchill quote, but it is attributed.
I don't quote any. I don't give anybody credit online. That's another thing we're going to establish today. We're not giving anybody credit online for no.
I don't know. I'll give that credit because he was a great man. So, but yeah, the truth of the matter is, if you're going to have success is always determined from your point of view. And if you're an entrepreneur, you have to understand that failure is a part of your business plan. So speaking in my experiences, one thing that I learned very quickly was that in the bottled water business, you got to order your products separately. So when I went to
a quick 30-second rundown of your past entrepreneurial success, because I know you through what? So how did obviously we went to law school together, folks.
Yeah.
But
so
then
Nicholas,
we started a business. So get to the business part because these entrepreneurs, that's what they want.
Yeah, definitely. So I met Nicholas in law school, and soon thereafter we started talking about things we shared, and we shared a passion for education and health and community betterment. So in that vein, we started thinking about what would always be good for people, and we started thinking that, well, maybe we should start a water company. So we started researching the industry and found that the bottled water industry was a growing marketplace. And so we started searching, especially here in the United States, because of all the freshwater resources, we're actually in a very good position to start a water business. So we did some research and found a very nice gentleman by the name of Terry Maurer, who was actually bottling in northern Michigan in a town called Grayling, and was interested in private labeling for us. So, with our new brand out, which we called Hydrocation, which was a marriage of water and hydration and education.
Show the bottle.
Yeah. So we started a brand, a student-friendly brand, like Nike is the brand for athletes and Gatorade's the drink for them. Well, Hydrocation is the brand for students, and we put educational content on the label and niche market to schools and universities. But in that vein, we had went north to bottle our first bottled water run, and of course we found out that we were idiots because we had never done this before. So we had ordered all the things to show up at the same time, and little did we realize that we had ordered some caps, to go bottle. Of course, if you're going to bottle water, you got to have caps. And so we get to the bottling plant, and we're all ready. We got our sleeves rolled up. We got our hairnets on, and we go to start bottling the water. And we realize that, guess what? The caps didn't show up. So now what we had to do was,
water. How do you finish bottling water with no caps, man?
You can't. It was like, dude, where's my car? But now it was, dude, where's my caps? These caps were missing.
Exactly.
So we got on the phone and we started troubleshooting the issue. Well, the night before we had done our diligence, right? We checked to see via the tracking number where the caps were, and they were in Lansing, Michigan, which is about a 2-hour drive.
Let me give it a little time frame for the viewers, right? I fly in. Jared flies me in from Connecticut to Chicago. We drive up to Grayling. We drive up to Grayling in a car, right, with your father, who decided to help us.
Yes, my father. That's right.
There's three Migos. There's three Migos in a car. We drive up to Michigan, and there's no caps. And we're outside of the hotel room. I'm telling him, send me back. I remember we had a conversation. I was like, send me back to Chicago. I'll go sell water. Total chaos. Total
chaos. So right away, we're hitting all the rings of the ladder on the way up. And we realized that two things were going to need to happen. Number one, we were going to need to start damage control right away because we were staying at a hotel that was charging us $70 a night. So we were going to have to negotiate with the hotel how to get the price lower so we could extend our stay without
our burn rate,
driving budget. And number two, we were going to have to change our game plan. Our business plan was going to have to go from bottling water on Monday to selling water or pre-selling water on Monday and maybe bottling on Friday. So one thing that I want to make sure that I bring to attention here for the young entrepreneurs who are in their plight is that, number one, have a sense of humor. You're going to mess up. It's okay. You're not going to know how to bottle water or do whatever you're trying to do on the first go. And number two, your job throughout that idiot phase is to make sure you're in a position of damage control because you don't want to ruin your reputation or your brand reputation. You don't want to ruin your reputation and the confidence of the people who are doing business with you. So right away, you need to start thinking about how do I control the situation in terms of making sure that we cause the least amount of damage, spend the least amount of money. And that's why the lean entrepreneur method of coming up with a minimal viable product before you launch is a very smart thing. Thirdly, if you do have an opposition or something that comes up, don't waste time. Time is of the essence. So if you have a problem, troubleshoot it and get on to the next phase where, in our instance, the caps weren't there, we weren't able to bottle, but we could still go to Traverse City and sell pre-contracts to people who might be interested in bottling with us.
We did pre-sell. As soon as we found out that the bottles weren't working. That's something I say in the videos a lot. Fail fast.
Fail fast, but also keep your head on the end goal. The end goal wasn't to bottle water. The end goal was to sell water. So, of course, we wanted to refocus and get back to that. So, and we did. We got some great bottled water customers out of it, including GT Pie, who I'll give a shout out to. Great company.
Shout out to GT Pie, yeah.
GT Pie, great company. And, two last things that I'll say is just to be flexible, in your business plan. Plan in your business plan to make mistakes. That's part of the business plan. Have in there, we're going to make failures, that build that into your plan, that you're going to account for the fact that you need time to learn. And just lastly, make sure that you keep your eye on the goal, which is that success is not to sell your product. Success is to have a community of people that value your product and you add value to the community in some way. So keep your eye on the goal. Make sure you're focused on the goal. Everything else will come into fruition. Your goal of selling or creating a great service, as long as you're focused on the end goal, which is making sure that you're adding a value to the community, people will respect you. And no matter what you do, if you make mistakes, they're gonna give you some slack because you're doing it for the right reasons. So, Agreed. Yeah, Nick, I think you're doing a great thing, and I would love to see other entrepreneurs with their comments about what they think are their funny mistakes that they made, or these things that ended up happening to them, because I think it's very important to share that experience.
Absolutely. And that was just a portion of some of the melee that went on that week. I mean, maybe we'll have you on another time and we'll really get into some of the other things, because on top of the bottle caps missing, we jumped through a few fiery hoops, me and this guy. And I tell you, he's absolutely right. I got his points down here, what Jared said, number one, have a sense of humor. Number two, it's all about damage control in that idiot phase. And that idiot phase is I was talking about in that last video. So if you guys haven't seen that video, go back and check out the video where I say how to learn new things. It's right after no wishing, or eliminate wishing from your vocabulary. Number three, no downtime. You got to figure out what else to do. When there's nothing going on, or when something hits your game plan, because something will. When something hits your game plan, right? Be flexible. I always put this in my business plan. For my business plan clients, I put it in as contingencies. I put a contingency note line item for the financial, and I put a contingency line item when it comes to the time you're going to spend on your business plan, right? It could be plus or minus 20% of your time, or plus or minus 100% of your time. So it really depends on how big the thing is. And then build, like he said, build failure into the account. We just talked about that, and we definitely had a hell of a ride, and we still continue to have rides in business, man. And,
it's
all these
good.
things are just as true today as they were back then,
Yeah, we'll do another session, and speaking of the Cowboys, we'll talk about a cowboy that we met on our journey, a real cowboy.
We'll do that. I want to do 2 sessions, and then next, subscribe to the account, follow me on Twitter, follow Jared on Twitter. It's at Agua. You can see it right on his shirt, at Agua. Follow him on Twitter. I'll put his links in the bottom of this video. But we're gonna do 2 more videos. We're gonna give you some more details about the Michigan trip, because if you guys think you're going through something right now as entrepreneurs, trust me, every entrepreneur has gone through it. And if you don't give up, you're going to have some hella stories to tell, and maybe you'll make some money along the way. And then I want to have Jay back on, because Jay's actually, he has his LLM in intellectual property, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, I do.
And he went through the actual trademark process there. And I want to have him on because he is, my guy when it comes to intellectual property, patents, trademarks, copyrights. If I have any questions, I always say, when you have questions as an entrepreneur, don't ask your friends, ask a professional. This is the guy you want to bother. This is the guy you want to find on LinkedIn if you're talking about patents, trademarks, innovations, even retail water products, right? This is the guy you want to reach out to. So we're going to do 2 more videos. But you got any last minute tips, man? That, maybe one thing an overall theme you learned from, not just the trip, but what we had, as what we've been through.
Yeah, definitely. Number one thing that I would tell all entrepreneurs is that you will learn. With every failure, there's an opportunity to learn. So don't ever think of yourself as a failure, because you don't fail. All failing is an opportunity for you to grow and learn. So if you consider it a failure, everybody else will consider it a failure. If you just see it as a blip on the radar for you to learn from and move forward, then there's nothing else. Nobody can take that away from you. And also remember that everybody else who's been an entrepreneur is making mistakes. And even at the highest levels, people make mistakes, and it's okay to make mistakes.
I can say that again.
At the highest levels, people make very, very big mistakes. And so just be focused on the end goal, which is to add value to the community, and everything will work out. So good luck, everybody, and looking forward to hearing what your wild and weird stories are as being an entrepreneur. But keep that sense of humor, because that's the only way that's going to keep you in business.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining another episode of An Entrepreneur's Journey. Thanks, Jay. And we will be back next time.
Peace.
Okay, cool.